Hello everybody and welcome to Cooking Classic. I'm Kathy Coslett. Thanks a real lot for joining us, and please meet Chef Kate Gabriel.
Hello.
There she is. She's out of the Rustic Kitchen. That's probably where you've seen her. She has her own show at the Rustic Kitchen at the Mohican Sun at Pocono Downs, Cooking with Kate. And we're going to cook with Kate today on Cooking Classic.
Yes.
She is making a homemade gluten-free pasta. So gluten-free is really, really hot, isn't it?
It is very, very hot. And it's not just, a lot of people have allergies, etc. So we try different things to accommodate folks. And this is just one of another way. And as you can see, very simple ingredients. We've got our nice little happy pasta maker here, old-fashioned. Pasta maker. So you don't necessarily need this. My grandmother rolled out the dough, cut it with the knife, and dried it, with the little dowels.
Yeah, mine had some kind of weird contraption that she made out of, I don't know what. She'd press it on there, and then she'd have her lines.
Yeah,
So
it
was neat.
To each their own, but very simple ingredients. What we have, you need to locate first and foremost, a gluten-free flour. Pasta is usually made with semolina flour, and there's different grades of it. People don't even know the history of it, but very, very small, very grains of sand, go 0, 0, 0, and that is the semolina. But this is just regular, all-purpose, gluten-free flour. The problem with gluten-free pasta is when you make it, it doesn't hold together. That's what the gluten does. It keeps things together. It keeps the bread together, the whole shebang. So it's a little bit difficult, but the premise is still the same. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to dump out our gluten-free flour, if you can take that.
Why do people think gluten-free is good for them, even if they don't have a gluten allergy? Do they just think it helps them keep their weight, or
gluten-free is not low carb, by the way. It's different, and some people might mistakenly think that gluten-free is low carb, because it's not. Because if you're using rice flour, that still has carbs in it. Soy flour has less carbs in it. And if you've ever seen the shirataki noodles, they're made out of the tofu type stuff. Those are
yeah, I tried those.
Yes,
once.
So, but maybe next time we'll make those, because those are those are interesting. They're fun.
Okay.
So with the flour, just like we do back in the old days, you make the the ratio of the flours, then you make the well, and this is by hand. So if you got an afternoon and you want to do this is great.
Notice she said an afternoon.
Well, you don't want to rush, Food is fun. For me, it's therapy. And it's, it's just, it's a good time. So you may need to add more, and depends, it's just like baking. If the humidity's up, you might need more, you might need less. So we're going to start off with 1 egg, and we're just going to do it just like grandma, just make the well and just make the dough. I probably should put another...
What's the average of how much flour per person would you use when you're making pasta?
That's a hard one. I just kind of eyeball it. From all these years of doing it, I just kind of eyeball it.
So if you were having 4 other people over for dinner, how much flour might you use?
A lot more.
A lot. Okay, and a lot more eggs then, right?
A lot more egg, a lot more flour. The ratio is on the web with the recipe.
Okay, good.
So, and if you have more flour, you can always add more flour to make it, into the dough. But this is very therapeutic, in my opinion, as far as the dough goes. Now, as far as the sauce goes, we're making something called a fra Diavolo, which is a spicy sauce. And as you can see, there's not a whole lot of ingredients here. We've got our San Marzano tomatoes, we've got some onions, we've got some basil, some parsley, garlic, a little white wine, and here's the spicy over here. We've got a little bit of the jalapenos and some chili flakes, and that's where the spicy comes from. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. But this is basically it. So if you want to make this into a pesto, a green color, you would add spinach or some pesto.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Or if you want to make it orange, you add a little bit of tomato paste to the dough.
Okay.
And that's what gives it its color. So if you ever see the tri-colored pastas out there, they add a little bit of vegetable coloring, but from natural, not food coloring.
But they're not really any better for you than the other,
no,
correct?
It's just a different,
pretty.
More aesthetically. Chefs always want to make things look more beautiful, So this is me getting my fingers into more food yet again. But yeah, so if you need more flour, you add more flour.
Is this, for someone that's used to making regular pasta, is the texture of this going to feel different to them? No?
This particular, the all-purpose gluten flour that I found, You know, it's very readily available in the grocery store. You just got to kind of look for it in the gluten-free section, and you'll see it with all the rest of its friends.
And that is another thing with gluten-free products. You really have to sort of try them, don't you?
Yeah.
Because there are, and I know from experience, some that are really a lot better than others, but it's really just trial and error, isn't it?
It is. You know, I found a lot of good products that are low carb. You know, and it's the way that they're processed at the plant, whoever the manufacturers are, that make it lower carb. So,
and I guess that's not really any different than any other product when you think about it. I mean, people like different brands of pasta and things. I mean, you really just have to try and find out. You know what I wanted to ask you, and I forgot, when you were talking about it's not low carb, does gluten-free break down any differently in your body though, or not really?
it's a protein, so it
doesn't matter.
It's a protein, so it's not a carb. It's different. Yeah.
Right, I was just fishing for maybe another
Yeah.
good reason, but
I will
guess
certainly
not.
look at this is the thing. If you
It
guys,
is what it is.
If you
right?
have any questions, you know, email us and we'll get you the correct answers.
Okay.
So don't hold that
Thanks,
to gospel.
Kate.
What I just said.
Yeah.
I could be completely wrong. Trust me.
I doubt it. But
Oh, trust me.
good suggestion. Give her an email. Shoot an email.
Yeah. Okay. So.
All right, there we go. That's looking good.
Right. So this is what we would do. I would add more flour to this. We have
Okay.
our stand-in, which is ready to go. Ready to go. This has been sitting, so it's firmed up a little bit.
That looks nice.
Yeah. So it's a nice soft, if you want to feel.
The color is good too.
Yeah.
Look at that.
So it's a little bit. You know, I need a little bit more flour for this, but for today, you know, we're just gonna kind of roll it along here.
All right. I love these machines. I get the biggest kick out of these.
You know-
I told you we had 3 in our house at one time, and now my daughter had to go buy one. We sold them at all the yard sales, you know, and now we need another one. So there we go.
Well, my girlfriend's dad actually gave that to me. He's like, "Here, Kate."
Yeah, see,
And I'm like, "Oh."
even some members of our audience, they used to have them, or they do have them, but they're in the basement now.
You know,
Pull it out.
Some people get a kick out of books. You know, funky old equipment. You know.
We decided we're going to do a show on that old food making equipment. Okay.
Yeah. So a little bit more flour. We're gonna see how this goes.
All
so
right, go ahead. You do it. I'm not going to ruin your pasta.
With
for
your
the day.
old pasta machine, what you need to do is they have little numbers on them. You know, it opens from wide to skinny on here.
Okay.
And when you're doing, just you talked about raviolis earlier in the break. When you're doing raviolis, you need to have it on the skinniest, you know, setting because you're double layering it.
Okay.
So if you've ever had raviolis that are real tough, chances are
this so they
it
can
may
see.
not have, you know. But look at how easy,
Yeah, that's beautiful.
you know. And if you want to do it again, you know, you can see that it gets a little bit thinner in here. And we'll see how this works out.
Okay.
Where'd you go? If you want to hold this,
Sure.
be gentle. There you go, and I'll catch it from the other side.
Okay.
Oh, it's falling apart.
No.
But that's what happens. So, we'll start over. It was good the
Don't
first
get
time.
upset about that. I mean, it does.
No,
It happens. So
it
roll
does.
it back up.
It
Do
does.
it again.
It does. So we'll start it back
And
on.
does it happen more obviously with gluten-free than
Yeah.
regular?
Yeah, it does.
Because remember, Kate talked about it doesn't necessarily stay together as well
So it's
as regular pasta.
Right. So it's trial and error. You know, the ratios that we find are good. You know, maybe we'll just put it through once and you
There
know,
you
off
go.
we go. So we'll keep it this way. We have our skinny pasta part, and then we have our fettuccine right here. So I'm going to have you catch it from this side,
Okay.
and we're going to move our little crank. So far not scary, right?
No.
Not scary
No,
at
and
all.
really, if you wanted to, you could cut that too, correct?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yep.
it's not going to be as uniform, but what the heck?
You know, homemade is homemade. It's got a very
That's part of the
rustic-
beauty of
right.
it, isn't it?
How's it looking?
I think it's looking great. Come on.
Glass of wine, couple friends, you know, all kinds of good stuff. And you're good.
Got it? I don't want to stretch it there. There
Good
you
to
go.
go. So that's when you would pull this apart and let it dry if you want.
And they do have racks that you can hang that on, or
You can also go to
Come
your
up with your own
local. You can also go to your local hardware store and get the little dowels. And
Oh, good idea, yeah.
Just hang them between two chairs.
Okay.
Because I've seen Lydia and all these cooking show folks do such that. So we already have a stand-in ready to go.
Okay.
So when you're done with your pasta, let it air dry if you want. You can make it on, immediately, and that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to go ahead and grab our pasta when we come back, and we'll be ready to work on that in the sauce.
So we have the pasta finished. We're going to cook that up, come back, make the sauce. So don't go away. You're really going to love this. Cooking classic. We'll be right back. Hello there, this is Chef Kate Gabriel. I'm Kathy Koslett. This is Cooking Classic, and Kate has made gluten-free, homemade gluten-free pasta. She's about ready to cook that, and now she's going to make a fra diavolo sauce to go with it.
Yes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on the sauce first. The pasta's not going to take too terribly long to cook. So what we're going to start with first and foremost, we have a little bit of oil in our pan. We're going to pop in some onions.
Right, and I always have to ask this, what's a little bit of oil?
Just a squeeze or two. You want to have enough oil in there to, I have it in a little squeezy because it's easy for me just to kind of, so a couple tablespoons, depending, cooking is not an exact science like baking. Totally different animal. So some people have, a very different look at cooking. They have to follow recipes. So
I always find that interesting, though, that you can give me your recipe. You make the same recipe, all the same ingredients. We do all the same things, but obviously yours tastes a lot better than mine. But what is that?
Well, my dad says that when I'm a little less than sweet, my sauces turn out better. So on a very more Sicilian day, my sauces come out a little better, I have to say.
So that must be the focus.
The focus, exactly.
Thought process.
Right. So
all right.
We have some garlic we're going to add in, and something with garlic, you have to be very, very, very careful not to burn it. This is minced. We're going to do a very fast saute.
You can burn garlic in the blink of an eye.
Blink of an eye, and then you have to start over, and that's the worst thing in the world. So if you want to chop it more, if you want to chop it, bigger and bigger pieces, we're gonna puree this and blend it with a hand blender in just a minute. So we really don't need to, do too much. We're gonna deglaze our pan, which means we're gonna get all those little bits and pieces off the bottom. A little bit of white wine.
That always smells so good.
Yeah, garlic, onions, a little bit of basil. We're gonna add our San Marzano tomatoes. Very, very prized in cooking, sauces and pizza sauces.
So is that really a plum tomato?
It's a plum tomato. Yep, direct from Italy. You can get them locally in your grocery store. I find that
they look good. They're really nice and firm.
And this is just a very simple sauce. People put all kinds of crazy stuff in it. You don't need to. Garlic, onions, tomatoes, a little bit of basil in here, and you're good to go. If you want to put a little sugar in there, some people like to put a little sugar in, completely up to you. So this is going to, saute for just a little while. It's going to cook together. All those little flavors are going to get to know one another. But in the meantime, what makes this a fra diavolo is the spicy part of this. So I'm going to put in a little bit of chili flake, or a lot.
or a lot.
Or a lot.
You notice that. Or a lot.
And what's going to happen is the liquid from here is going to reconstitute those chili flakes.
Okay.
But I'm also going to add a little bit more heat to the madness here. You should be wearing gloves, so I'm not going to rub my eyes later. But this is a jalapeno. You can add whatever you want, whatever spicy floats your boat. But right here where the seeds and the ribs are, that's where the heat is.
Okay.
So that's what you need to be careful with. So I'm just going to, kind of
So you're putting the whole shebang in there.
Yeah, Absolutely, because
She is brave.
we're gonna
And when
puree
she says
this.
spicy, she means spicy, right?
Well, and this is the base. You know, this is a base sauce. You can use it just as is.
Okay.
Or you know, people have Fra Diavolo with seafood, very popular with that. Obviously you have your little red ones, a little bit less seeds in this one, but you can do whatever you want. So if you like hot and spicy and you want to add, hot sauce to it.
Is a red pepper any sweeter than a green pepper, or is it
Different.
really
These
all
are
matters with the seeds?
It's all different. It's all different. This is a different type of pepper than this one. It was just
Okay.
sitting next to that one, and I grabbed it because it was pretty.
So since it has less seeds, not sleeves, does it?
No, it
doesn't
honestly,
have anything to do with
there's
it.
something
All
called
right,
a
I'll
Scoville.
let that go then.
There's something. Wash your hands. There's something
Okay.
called a Scoville scale, and it goes from 0 all the way up, 15 million. And basically, there was a gentleman by the name of Wilbur Scoville who discovered the capsaicin in the peppers, and
Okay.
it's based from 0 with a regular bell pepper, 0 all the way up to the pepper spray that the cops chase you around
Right.
with. So if you see her running through Nanny Coke, you'll know why.
It was the pepper spray,
It was the
not
pepper
the
spray.
peppers in her Fra
Right.
Diavolo sauce.
So, kind of fast forwarding a little bit, you're giggling at me. You want to cook this, a long time, maybe like an hour, hour and a half. That's when
Okay.
the sauce, that's when the flavors get together. Obviously we would do more larger pots of this, but for our purposes today, we're just going to kind of, fast and furious kind of get through this. In the
Okay.
meantime, I'm going to pop our pasta in our pasta water and get that ready to go. That is previously made pasta that we're
So
going
that was rolled out, that was
Cut.
left to air dry.
Air dry, yeah.
How long, by the way, would you let it air dry, or does that
Oh
really
gosh,
depend
it's
on you?
real fast. It's real fast. It doesn't.
Once you do that, can you save part of it?
Yes, you absolutely can. Wrap it up. I put it in the, you can put it in the refrigerator because there's eggs in it. That's
Okay.
how you should store it, but you can also, cook it and then freeze it. So
Okay.
don't put it in there by itself, just
Yeah.
as the dough. Cook it, then freeze it, and then you'll be good to go. So,
Now, gluten-free pasta, sometimes when you put it in the refrigerator or whatever after it's cooked, kind of seems hard, and it doesn't look like or taste like if you grabbed a noodle of regular pasta.
Yeah.
But it does reheat really nicely,
does.
so that shouldn't fake you out, should
no,
it?
no, not at all. A little oil, to keep it loosey-goosey, and you'll be good to go. I'm also going to add in a nice big handful of our
love
basil.
this, yeah.
Now, I do want to show you just a little cooking technique. It's a cut. It's called a chiffonade, and it means to cut in little rags. So I'm just going to kind of roll this
Oh,
up.
that's neat.
Yeah, and this just
Chiffonade.
Yep,
Am
just-
I ever going to sound brilliant at home?
and you can pop it in. So people do that over like caprese salads to make it look pretty.
Yeah.
We're going to puree this, so I don't even really need to do a chiffonade, but I'm just going to kind of nice big handful in there. Actually, I'm going to throw the whole shebang in.
That's
This is
cooking
what
with Kate.
This is what I do. When I'm at home, it's like everything goes in,
Oh, what
and
the
the
heck?
hands go, and the wine goes, and the whole 9 yards. So a little bit of parsley, just the whole. There you go. For everybody in the pool
All
here.
right.
And you can, sweeten this up if you want with a little sugar. I don't have any sugar in mine today, but it looks beautiful so far, doesn't it?
It really does. It does.
It's just nice and fresh. Farmers markets, once again, lots of fresh tomatoes are coming our way, so
No, I didn't notice any salt in there.
no
Reason?
salt. I usually add cheese.
Oh yeah. Okay,
So
I'm with you on that. I do that
I
too.
usually add a little bit of cheese at the end when I'm eating. So the last thing we're going to do is we're going to hand blend this with an immersion blender. And if you wanted to do this without splashing yourself, you take this off the heat. And it's actually kind of a funny thing, but they have those covers, like even a shower cap. Don't laugh.
We're not doing that here.
you can put
shower cap, I draw the line. Okay.
If you put this in a bowl and then put like a little shower cap on and put a hole through it, you can keep it from
Okay.
splashing
Oh,
your
that's
walls
neat.
and your
Okay.
jacket, as it were today. So I'm just gonna make this chunky. I don't really want it pureed.
Yeah, I like chunky sauces
Yeah.
too.
But
I
I just
love
wanna-
chunky tomatoes.
But I just want to break up these big plum tomatoes in here. And that's really it. Was that easy?
Looks great. Yeah, it really was easy.
Pretty
I always get
easy.
scared when I see all those ingredients, but that was simple.
Yeah.
That was really great.
Yeah, so pretty easy. We've got some nice fresh sauce. I'm gonna pop our pasta in here.
No, with sauces, like my mom would put her sauce on, like when she woke up in the morning and it would cook all day.
All day long,
Yeah.
and that's the magic. That's
Okay.
the reason why grandma's sauces are always so good, you know. So I'm just gonna kind of coat
No, that
this
looks wonderful,
and
Kate.
you know, get my little happy bowl out, and we're ready to go.
All right, how about we take a quick break, let you get that mixed together a little bit, then we'll have it plated for you and hopefully take a taste.
Absolutely.
See you when we return. Cooking Classic. We'll be right back. Hi, I'm Kathy Coslett. Join me this week for another episode of Cooking Classic. On the program, we'll feature chef and former LCCC student Brian Zawicki, and he'll be cooking healthy. Brian's going to prepare a Mediterranean chickpea stew that's high in nutrients and antioxidants and perfect for a meatless Monday dinner. It's all coming up this week on Cooking Classic. Be sure to tune in.
Make your life better by Degrees. Choose from over 100 academic and career programs at the area's lowest tuition. Achieve your career goals and reach your fullest potential at
Luzerne County Community College.
Welcome back to Cooking Classic. Kate Gabriel joined me today. I'm Kathy Coslett, and she made a homemade gluten-free pasta and a fra Diavolo sauce. So now we're at the best part of the show. I mean, the cooking and the chef, I mean, they're great, but now we get to taste. So that's really a good part. Now I have to ask you a question. There's a whole pasta technique, isn't there?
Yes.
Are you a twirler?
I
Are you
am.
a cutter?
I'm a
Do you need a
twirler.
spoon when you twirl,
twirler.
or can
I'm
you
a
freehand?
I'm a tw-
Freestyle twirler
I'm a
we
tw-
got.
I'm a twirler.
All right.
This is you know how
All
we
right,
do it.
let's see.
And I know etiquette-wise, you're supposed to get the
Let's see.
spoon and the fork and the whole shebang.
Oh no, that was like a big no-no at our table. Look at that one. I'm good, aren't I? We used to say, oh, they're a lightweight. They need a spoon.
How is it?
Oh, this is incredible.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Okay, here we
it
go.
really is good, Kate. Thank you so much.
Time for lunch.
Isn't it good? Don't forget to make this at home. You can make it just look as pretty as Kate, too. We added a couple breadsticks and some
A
of
little
that
bit of
beautiful
basil.
basil.
Yeah, just, you know, aesthetically, if you want to get, you know, a little creative, you can just shave some Parmesan on there and life is good. Don't forget the wine.
Don't forget the wine, and don't forget to have the twirling competition at the table, all right?
Right.
Thanks for joining us on Cooking Classic, and we hope you will be back next time. We'll miss you if you don't. Bye.